Update. My mother, 44 female, wants to meet me 24 male after 8 years. I don't know what to do. Original post. So she was dating my father when he got her pregnant and left her after she told him she is pregnant. I don't remember much because my grandparents raised me, and she would visit once a week. She would take me to shopping, get me chocolates, etc. Grandparents died when I was 6, so my mom take me in. She was married and I never even knew, even had a baby, but I didn't think too much about it. Growing up, I was neglected. All her love and care was for my half-sisters. Her husband mistreated me emotionally and physically. He would yell at me for little mistakes, like if slip some water, wake up late. And my mother was a bystander and sometimes participate. She always tells me about how my father left her when she needed him most, how I almost ruined her life. This is all in front of her husband. And lastly, he would kiss her and tell me how he saved her. Well, I was just 12 at a time. I get hurt and jealous every day by seeing how they treat their daughters with love and affection. I never expected her husband to be my father, but she is my mother. How could she be so cruel to me, her own child? She always guilt-tripped me by saying she's the one who's feeding me and is giving me a shelter to live. I was a bright student in school and still am, but she never got happy for my progress. I thought if I study hard, she will love me, because I loved her very dearly. But I realized too late that no matter what I do, she will always show me where I stand. So when I was 16, I got in touch with one of my father's sisters through my mother's childhood friend. She knew how my mom treats me, and she wanted to help me, I guess. We hang out more and she finally asked me how I was living with my mom, and I just broke down and told her everything. She said she knew and that's why she wants to help me, and asked me if I want to live with her. I said yes. 1 month passed and I was ready to move in with her. When I got home, Mom was in the kitchen and I asked her to come upstairs when she's done. She came late, and conversation goes like this. Her, what do you want now? Me, can I ask you something, Mom? What? Do you love me? Of course. Then why don't you stop your husband when he mistreats me? Her, that's me. Let me finish, Mom. You hate me, don't you? That's why you let him mistreat me for years. You never showed me any affection, but you love your daughters. You attend their parents' meeting, but you never showed up at my school. You even sent me to another school. That's how you love me. Just why you never loved me, huh? Did I do something wrong? Tell me. Her, how could I hate you? You're my son. Me, then why hurt me so much? I can't show you how much it hurts whenever you choose your husband over me. It feels like my heart will stop beating. Every single time you chose to hurt me. But I loved you. And I tell myself that one day you will love me. But it was my fantasy which come to an end. Her, he cares for you. I interrupt. Me, look, you're choosing him again. Mom, I always choose to love you even though I always get hurt by you in return. But this time I choose to not get hurt anymore. I know you don't give a damn about me. That's why I'm moving in with my aunt. She knows her. And I expect you to at least respect my decision and let me go live my life. She was just standing. Didn't say a word after I tell her I'm moving with my aunt. Next day, I move out when my mother and her husband was at work. I didn't say bye to my half-sisters. We moved to another state and I cut off my mom and her entire family. That was 8 years ago, and I never heard anything from them in this 8 years. I still live with my aunt, her husband, and her daughter. They are nice and kind people. Also, now I have a job, but I'm on the way to becoming a software engineer, so I can say I'm doing good. But yesterday, I get voicemail from my mother saying she wants to meet me, and to please talk to me and was crying. I haven't responded yet. Should I call her or should I just block her? I can't decide, so any advice is appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Her personality hasn't magically changed. Life isn't like the movies. Perhaps her husband has left her and she needs money for herself and the girls. I suspect money's involved somehow. Regardless, she hasn't changed. She was a weak, cruel woman all your life. She's still a weak, cruel woman now. I agree. She probably heard that Opie will be going into a career with good money-making potential. Opie has made a life for himself and seems happy. He should not let his mother, and I use that term loosely, disturb his peace. This here. She wants to use you. She doesn't love you like you loved her. Maybe find out what she wants, but don't be surprised if it's something to do with her needing you in some way. Personally, I'd steer clear of her. Live your life. I know she doesn't love me and it still hurts. And I won't be surprised if she needs money from me. I know how selfish she is. Money or organ. Either way, she wants something. There's no way I would give her my organ. I don't care if she dies without one. Do what you want. If you don't want to talk, just don't answer. If you do, you can send her a message. Hell, you can also tell her to buzz off and not contact you. Part of me wants to meet her, to tell her about my achievements. You know, you can't completely hate your mom. And another reason is, I never got my answer. Why she let her husband mistreat me? Why she never stood up for me? I want answers. You think she would tell me this time if I meet her? Edit. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Here's some more. I haven't told my aunt about my mom's voicemail. We'll do tonight after dinner. And my dad died when I was maybe 3. And yes, he tried to meet me, but she never let him. She used me to get money from my dad and his parents, and my dad left me some money. Now for the first update. So much happened in the last 4 days, so I thought I should write an update. So here's what happened. I talked to my aunt and uncle the day after the post, told them about her voicemail. They were so understanding about my emotional situation, and I told them their opinion is very important to me. I asked my aunt about mom's friend, so she called her and invited her to dinner last night. She told us that mom's husband and his sons kicked her out because she argued with her oldest daughter-in-law. Her husband filed for divorce and she will not get anything from him because he had her sign prenup. Her daughters refused to help her and is still living with her father. She's now all alone and is living in her parents' house. Her friend said she knows I'm engaged and perhaps wants to meet me because she is sorry for how she treated me. After listening to all this, I asked my aunt what she thinks, and she said she doesn't trust her, and she's trash, but will understand if I want to meet her. My uncle said I should meet her without looking for any kind of relationship. So after giving it some thoughts, I decided to meet her. I messaged her telling I'm ready to meet her, but my aunt is gonna be there and she must come alone. She said okay. I messaged her today that we will meet on Sunday in a restaurant. She said she will book a table. As many of you suggested, this restaurant is always crowded. So that's what happened in the last couple of days. I will write an update if anything happens. Thank you again. Good luck and do not be fooled. She just wants to reconcile and apologize to you and she's alone and they have abandoned her. I do not believe much in karma, but this is a clear example. She should have apologized much earlier and not now. Don't fall for that. I hope you update. Correct. Do not be fooled by the waterworks. She has been emotionally unavailable since you were a child. It doesn't mean anything now. All the best. As a third-party observer, my first impression based on her friend's depiction of what's going on is that she's looking for someone to support her now that she's out on her own. Don't be surprised if she hits you up for money or a place to stay or something. Opie, the concern I would have is that your mother is once again cast adrift from having someone to support her financially and emotionally, and she's looking for her next convenient spot to anchor. Trash is a word I would never use to describe a fellow human being, but I assume your aunt meant that your mother has proven in the past to be an unengaged parent and a self-centered grifter. The lines between nature and nurture are so blurred at this point that she may not mean to use people as badly as she does, but she still habitually uses people whenever it suits her purposes, even the people she loves. Your uncle was right to warn you against hoping that you will finally get the close mother-son relationship you've always craved, because that's very unlikely to happen. Either now, on the eve of your wedding, or in the foreseeable future. Your mother is who she is, and you had the misfortune to come up a double loser in the parent lottery. I'm sorry for all the trauma and isolation you experienced in childhood and adolescence before you decided to move in with your aunt and her family. I wish you good luck for your restaurant meeting with Mommy Dearest, but I hope you plan to don some heavy emotional armor. Even with your aunt there for moral support, you're likely to experience some powerful feelings, both positive and negative. Just keep reminding yourself that you do have relatives and a fiancé who love you unconditionally, regardless of how your mother feels or what she wants from you at this time. Now for the second update. Yesterday when we got to the restaurant, she was with her other friend. And when she saw my aunt with me, she freaked out and started to cry loudly, saying that my aunt stole me from her and that she's the reason I didn't acknowledge her, and also that she used a black magic to control me. The list goes on. Everyone at the restaurant was looking at us, like we are criminals. Some of them even started to record videos. It was so embarrassing. I realized I'll never get the closure from her, so we left in the car. My aunt was crying, saying she failed again to protect me. She knew it would end up like this That's why she didn't want me to meet her at all, but she did for my sake. I told her I will not meet or talk to her ever again. I blocked her number and everything, and this morning I get a new number. So yes, that's what happened. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys when you told me not to meet her. Nothing to be sorry about. Your aunt is an amazing person and really cares about you. I wish you the best in life. Didn't you get to tell her that it was her fault that you left and that she never tried to talk to you? You would think in 8 years she would wised up. Sorry. Give your aunt a hug, tell her you love her and it's not her fault. It was your decision. Thanks for the update. Too bad you didn't say, thank goodness she saved me from you. Give your aunt an extra hug. Enjoy your life. Now for the last story. My husband, 43 male, treats my daughter from a previous relationship, 12 female, differently to our own daughters, 10 female and 8 female, and it hurts her. When I was 27, I got pregnant quite early into a relationship with a not-so-great guy, and he left a couple months after I gave birth. I'll call my daughter Ellie. He rarely sees her except bringing a gift every year or something. He's a useless dad and always has been. I met my now husband Lee when Ellie was 2 years old. I never minded that I had a kid, and he was great with her. When I got pregnant early in the relationship, he was thrilled and wanted to be dad. We now have 2 beautiful daughters together, Olivia and Rose. Although Lee has always been a good father figure to Ellie, he has always treated her differently to our daughters Olivia and Rose. Despite being there since she was a toddler, he does not consider Ellie his, and corrects people when they refer to him as her dad. He says that Ellie has her own dad as well. And yes, she does, but he is hardly around, and he has been around much more than her. It hurts Ellie when he says she isn't his. She has my last name, while my other daughters have his. I hate to say this, but I think one thing that factors into it is their different appearance and race/culture. My daughter is white British like me, and he is Asian. Our daughters look like him, but Ellie's obviously not his. He involves Olivia and Rose with his family, and because of this, they are now quite proficient in his native language. Lee's family hate the fact that he is raising another man's child, and they don't like Ellie coming over. Even if he invites her, Ellie now refuses to see his family and knows they don't like her. To be honest, they don't like me much either, but they absolutely adore Olivia and Rose. Another factor is that our daughters are also exceptionally beautiful and are regularly complimented by complete strangers. We have been approached by modeling agencies after posting their photos on Instagram. Ellie's overweight like her father, despite my best efforts to stop this, and she does not look like a model. She's still beautiful inside and out to me, but I know this is a very big insecurity of hers and she feels inadequate compared to them. Lee's Facebook cover photo is a family photo without Ellie, and he frequently posts pictures of our 2 daughters but rarely includes her. He buys them more gifts than he buys Ellie. He frequently compliments Olivia and Rose but rarely Ellie. He was better about it when she was younger, but now the different treatment is even more obvious. Probably due to all this, since Ellie was about 9, she has bullied Olivia and Rose sometimes. She's a great girl and she is usually kind, but she frequently picks on them and has fought with them and hit them. Olivia, the 10-year-old, has also started being nasty back to Ellie and calls her fat and ugly. She includes Rose in this too. They do this thing where they stuff pillows up their jumpers and pretend to be Ellie. I do my best to stop these behaviors from both sides, but it's hard, especially because Lee takes the side of Olivia and Rose no matter what happens. It makes Ellie out to be the instigator. Lee and Ellie's relationship is now kind of strained, especially now that Ellie's starting to go through puberty and the mood swings are coming. She has told me that sometimes she wants to run away from home. My heart breaks for this whole situation, and I feel like it's too late now to fix their relationship. My husband claims he loves and cares for her, and it's true that he does buy things for her and acts as a father figure, but it's just so different to how he treats our own daughters. I'm so overwhelmed with this and I don't know how to fix it. Please help. Now for the top advice. You and Ellie each need therapy ASAP. Did you and Lee not discuss him taking the role of father in Ellie's life before you got married? It must feel awful to feel like the only outsider in her own home. This also could be his cultural conditioning. That is massively pressed into them like no others. This scenario most especially. It's deeply generational, rooted into the man that is a disgrace to themselves and their family's legacy, to to take on another man's child and feels the shadow shaming that's probably coming from his people, potentially having a child that doesn't look like you. The Eastern cultures are trying to keep Western society from infiltrating their cultures. They don't like what the negative aspects that are blaring out to the rest of the world. So any snippets of Western society frowned upon. That's a massive struggle, I would imagine, for someone. I've just seen this as what is going on with people from different cultures. Well, if it is so unbelievably disgraceful, then he shouldn't have accepted Ellie as a 2-year-old, or dated her mother, or married her mother, or impregnated her mother. This is not an excuse. There were many opportunities for him to not raise another man's child. God, this post just kept going. Why are you allowing any of this? Why did you put your foot down a long time ago? Why are you even here, asking for advice, when you know your husband's behavior is damaging, discriminatory, and hurting your child? This whole thing makes me feel sick. You're all Ellie has. Please stand up for her. Ellie's overweight like her father, despite my best efforts to stop this. Is she actually overweight, or is she just not thin? Because your best efforts to stop this are probably just as damaging as her sister's making fun of her. She is overweight, but not massively. It could sort itself out naturally in her teens, but maybe not. I never say anything hurtful about her weight. I give her healthy food, but she uses her pocket money to buy extra snacks and sneaks things from the cupboards. Have you considered that she's using food as an emotional bandage for basically being discriminated against by her father figure and failed so epically by her mother? You are supposed to be her protector, and instead, you basically put up with her being mistreated and singled out as lesser. You should have put your foot down or left your husband when he started to treat your daughter as different. You failed so massively. Am I the a-hole for not sharing my stepdad's inheritance with my brother? My 25 female dad passed when I was very young, and my mom married my stepdad Lee when I was 5. Lee is wealthy, and my mom never had to work, and I was given everything growing up. The only thing we never received was acceptance from Lee's family, as they were not pleased that Lee chose to marry a widow with a child. Lee and I were close though, and he continued to care for me even after my brother Sam, 18, was born. My mom clearly favored Sam and didn't really focus much on me. Lee's relatives warmed up to my mom a little with the birth of Sam, but I was still treated like something invisible. Sam was often invited to Lee's relatives' houses to play, and he and I are not very close. I decided to go to university overseas, and Lee gave me enough money that I didn't have to work or worry financially. He also was the only one calling or writing me regularly, while I talked to my mom and Sam like once every couple of months during my university days. After graduation, Lee wanted me to come home, but I wanted to work and be on my own for a bit. Then the pandemic happened and I was unable to fly back. When the lockdown was over, my family came to visit me once and left when I preferred to continue working where I am. Lee came to visit me a few more times by himself. A few months ago, Lee passed away from a disease he never let anyone know he had. In his will, he left his businesses and house and most valuables to his relatives. My mom almost nothing, though she can keep what he has already given her. 2 cars, jewelry, and cash of about $60,000 as my mom never legally married him. Sam about $150,000 and the rest of the money to me. It was 7-figure US dollars, a life-changing amount. Turns out Sam is not Lee's biological child, which he found out only recently. My mom and Sam were mad, of course, and demanded that I share money with them. I said I'm willing to put the money in some low-risk investments, and we can split the gain, but it's not good enough. They want at least 25% each of what Lee left me. I argued that it's not like they are left destitute. Sam can still go to a good university if he cares enough for further education, and my mom have enough money to get her own place, and the investments will give us all incomes for the long term. They called me greedy and planned to take legal action, but Lee's relatives told them that they could make my mom and Sam's lives very difficult if they try to give me a hard time and go against Lee's wishes. I intend to do as I promised them, splitting the gains from the investment with my mom and Sam. I won't let them touch the money Lee left me though, because I don't trust them to not go through that money in just a few years. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You aren't his biological daughter, but the daughter he chose. Splitting the gains is already nice from you, but don't give your mother too much. Otherwise, she will pay a lawyer to sue you. Not the a-hole. What if the roles were reversed and you barely got anything? Would they share with you? This. If Opie shares the gains, where or when will it end? Her mother and brother will feel entitled for a lifetime, when Lee specifically left that money for Opie. Not the a-hole. The best way to honor Lee's wishes is to let them have exactly what he wanted, and no more. They aren't entitled to what Lee plainly didn't want them to have. That is the best and legal response I would suggest. Why open a can of worms? Just be calm and relax. Just think about why that person left them with so little. Exactly what I was thinking. Based on the post, it seems that Lee definitely had his reasons for doing what he did. Not a-hole. There's a reason you got what you got and they got what they got. Also, good job on Lee's relatives stepping up for you and your late stepdad. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my mother a freaking monster as she was having a mental breakdown? For a while, I was a single father of 3 lovely boys, ages 7 to 5. When my oldest 2 were 1, my ex-girlfriend and I split after I found out she cheated multiple times. We decided to co-parent, but she was incredibly distanced from the family. 4 months after she gave birth to my youngest son, she decided that she wasn't ready to be a mother and left. I haven't seen her since. Growing up, my mom envisioned a very specific life plan for me. She's always wanted to control my life, my education, career, and romantic relationships. My mom loved my ex-girlfriend, my son's bio mom. To her, she was the perfect woman. Even after I told her the details of my ex walking out on my family, she still adores her. My mom even blames me for her leaving me. Oh, you must have done something to make her leave. Oh, you probably didn't treat her like a gentleman, etc. It's emotionally taxing, and I don't speak to her much. To her, I'll always be a failure, a disappointment, and she has made her thoughts very clear to me. My girlfriend Fiona and I have been dating for 3 years. When I met her, I wasn't actively looking for a relationship, but I'm so incredibly happy I met her. She's wonderful, and I can't wait for her to officially be a part of my family. The boys love her as well. My youngest even call her mom, and I love her. My mom, of course, does not. She does not like Fiona at all, because she's not my ex, and thank God she isn't. And Fiona will never be good enough for her. My dad invited us to celebrate my mom's birthday. My dad told me that if I brought Fiona, he would ensure that there would be no drama. I wish it was a nice, calm afternoon spent with family. But my mom is a heavy drinker, and late into the afternoon after having way too much to drink, she starts playfully chasing my son around the yard. He got scared, crying and runs to Fiona. My mom, extremely drunk, begins to curse out a 7-year-old boy from running away from her. Fiona interjects and yells at my mom that she can't yell at her son. Her words. This sets mom off. After hearing Fiona refer to the children as her own, my mom begins ranting loudly about how Fiona will never be the boys' bio mom, their real mom, and how their real mother would have never poisoned their heads and caused them to be afraid of their own grandmother. Fiona is in shock, but I loudly yell back, maybe my kids are scared of you because you're a freaking monster. Fiona, the kids, and I left shortly after. My dad texted me. He told me that I shouldn't have called my mother a monster when she was clearly having a breakdown. My mom is having a hard time accepting Fiona, and hearing Fiona was probably the last straw. He's encouraging me to apologize before my mom apologizes. He wants to clear the air and everything to return to normal, but I don't want to do that. Not the a-hole. There is a difference between a breakdown and a tantrum. Your mom was having the latter. Personally, I wouldn't want someone in my life who treated me, my significant other, and my kids poorly. I was about to say, that's not a breakdown. That's an angry drunk. I'm somewhat at a loss for words here. Does Opie's dad see nothing wrong with an adult drunkenly chasing a child around until the child flees in terror to a safe adult? After that, it would have to skew severely sideways for me to think Opie could possibly be the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Nope. The father sounds like an enabling doormat. forever singing, "Sit down, you'll rock the boat." Not the a-hole. Your mom was being toxic, and if I were you, I would cut contact with her. I'm happy you seem to have met a lovely woman that sees your kids as her own. I wish you, Fiona, and the kids the best. Do not apologize. Your dad is enabling her behavior. Right. Opie, you need to go no contact with your mom. Your kids do not need to have those memories or such a toxic relationship in their lives. You suffered through it, but they don't need to. Also, marry Fiona. Clearly, she loves your kids and they seem to love her. And then, move. Release the toxicity from your life. Not the a-hole. Your father wants to keep the peace by not holding your mother accountable for her actions. It sounds like a bad environment for your family. You'd be well within your rights to go no contact or low contact with your mother. Spineless fathers and abusive mothers, a much too common occurrence. Everybody sucks here. Your mother for obvious reasons. You for continuing to subject your kids and Fiona to the company of a freaking monster. There's been plenty of history here. Don't act like your mother's behavior was some surprise. If you won't drop contact with your mother, at least interact with her on your own. Next story. Am I the a-hole for sarcastically congratulating my dad? So when I, 17 female, was 5, my dad left my mom and me. Since then, I saw him maybe 3 to 4 times at family functions. And from family, I found out he got married and had other kids. I figured he wouldn't have been a good dad, just because of the type of dad he's been to me my whole life. Yesterday was my great-grandma's 100th birthday, so we were doing a big party for her. A few days ago, I found out from my grandma my dad is going to be there, and more than likely with his kids. I was still going to go though, because I've always been close to my great-grandma. About an hour of me being at this party, my dad, his wife, and their 2 kids walk in. The kids were about 3 and 6 years old. I watched them off and on through the party. My dad was actually being a dad. He was playing with his kids and listening to them, even had cute nicknames for them. Then my dad came up to me and said pretty much, hey Opie, how have you been? It's, been a while. I will admit, I was upset seeing my dad act like the person he never was to me and has never put in the effort. So I said I'm okay, and then pointed over to his kids and said, congrats on actually being a dad this time around. My dad got mad and said he's sorry, but he can't change the past. But he never even puts up an effort now to call or text me or wants to come to visit me. I then had other family members tell me I need to grow up and get over it, and now be happy for my dad. So am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Get over being abandoned by your father? More than your dad, his family is the a-hole. Clearly, they enabled him. Not a-hole. 100% agree. Your father needs to own his crappy behavior and treat you with the respect you deserve. Also, Opie's still a minor. It's not like she's 35 with kids of her own and the ship has pretty much sailed on being a parent. Dad could absolutely still step up and be a parent to Opie now. But he's got his shiny new family. And don't give a hoot, I guess. Absolutely pathetic. Opie's not the a-hole in the slightest. Not the a-hole. The past? Okay. Then it's his responsibility to fix it in the present and for the future. His deadbeat bum didn't even try. If anything, you were too nice. Should have given a lot of choice words to him. It's not even the past. Opie is still a minor. He could be co-parenting her right now. Instead, he's treating her like an awkward ex at a high school reunion. Not the a-hole. Abandoned by your father, scorned by your family, plus sarcastic quips. This is the making of a real superhero's origin. So take your wings, my child, and dump buckets of bird poop on your villainous father and his minions, so that their outer appearances may resemble the crap they are on the inside. Not the a-hole. Your words are pure poetry, and true AF to boot. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my son he has to be respectful if he wants to live with us? My ex-wife and I got divorced 13 years ago when our son was 5. 2 years later, she moved to another city about an hour away. Our custody agreement was that our son would stay a month with me and 1 with her. But when the pandemic started, our son moved in with his mom because she lives in a house with a garden. During that time, we talked on the phone a lot and I'd pick him up on weekends. He started uni in April and moved back in with me for that as it's closer for him. I don't expect him to pay rent, but he is supposed to help in the household. Not excessively, but picking up after himself and keeping his room clean. Last October, my girlfriend of 3 years and her daughter who is 5 moved in with me. My son didn't have a problem with that when he decided to move here. Most days, my son has uni until about 4 p.m. and will come home, make himself food, and then go to his room to study or go out with friends. The problem is that he often leaves a mess in the kitchen. I told my girlfriend not to clean up after him, as he is old enough to do that himself. But she still does it sometimes when she needs to use the dishes. I get home around 6 p.m., and if I see that there is still a mess, I will confront him about it. He usually grumbles a bit, but eventually cleans it up. Yesterday, I came home to find the kitchen in absolute chaos, and my girlfriend close to tears in the living room. When I asked what happened, she told me my son had once again made himself something to eat but left everything he used out. This time she'd been in a hurry as she wanted to make her daughter a quick lunch before dropping her off at a birthday party and didn't have time to clean up first. When she asked my son if he could put his used dishes away, he apparently got angry and told her to buzz off. He used few more words that I don't want to translate and ended up shutting the door in her face. I went to his room to confront him and he again told me to leave him alone. We had a fight and I told him if he wanted to keep living here, he had to show some respect. Not only by cleaning up after himself, but also in the way he talked to my girlfriend. He then left to stay with a friend, but not before calling me an a-hole, and I haven't heard from him since. Part of me is thinking I shouldn't have let him move back because of his behavior. But on the other hand, he is my son, and it's very difficult to find a place to live right now, especially for students. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? If this is really the whole story, not the a-hole. Your son should be expected to clean up, and the way this was communicated was not unreasonable. But I feel like there is more to the story. I feel like you and a lot of r/AITA readers usually want there to be more to the story. So it's a nuanced and complicated tale of morality and judgment. But the simplest explanation is often the correct one, and this would not be the first 18-year-old/college kid to be disrespectful to a step-parent and not clean up after themselves. On the flip side, these stories are always curated by one person. You assume that every poster is subjective when it's something many people aren't capable of. Info. Could it be that there is more going on in the background? Did you know your girlfriend prior to living with her? Why is your girlfriend the one always at home? Could it be that she maybe said or did something you don't know about? Does she work and pay rent? Also, you didn't include any ages. How old are you and your girlfriend? Anyway, based on the info you gave, not a-hole. He is acting very entitled. My girlfriend works part-time so she can pick up her daughter from kindergarten, but will go full-time once her daughter gets older. I can't imagine anything serious happening between them without one or the other telling me about it. It isn't like they're spending the whole day together. It's mostly just 2 to 3 hours until I get home, and my son spends most of that time in his room. She does contribute to rent payments. I don't think our ages were relevant, but my son is 18, my girlfriend is 27, and I'm 37. Your requests are reasonable. Clean up after himself, and be respectful to other members of the household. Pretty easy asks, in my opinion, for free room and board. If he wants to be a slob, he's an adult. He can find somewhere else to live, not the a-hole. I'm actually surprised at this behavior because when he was staying with just me, he'd always do his chores and never talk to me this way when I reminded him. My kids were like this after their first year at university. They wanted to be viewed as adults, yet trashed the kitchen constantly. If I asked them to clean up, I was called a few choice words and was nagging. It worked out after some persistence on our part. We all laugh a bit about it now.